Madness at T-Mobile Park. Let's talk about it. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. This is Tidy Gonzalez and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners postgame show, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the promo code LOCKEDONMLB, that's LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. And as always, if you want to hear from me and Colby even more and help support the show, you can check out our Patreon. All you have to do to check that out is click the link in the description of this episode. All right. A lot happened. I'm still kind of trying to process it all. So here it goes. I'm going to do my best. So the Mariners rattled off seven runs in the 8th and 9th innings of today's game to walk off the Astros 7-6. And this was such an unlikely and unexpected win for a ton of reasons, right? Like last night, you lose and just heartbreaking, frustrating, maddening. You just want to pull out your hair with the way that they lost that game. Then this morning, you wake up and find out Ryan Bliss is in the IL with torn bicep to make matters worse. Vibes are just awful, right? And, you know, you combine that with the Victor Robles news from a couple days ago. Like, it just, everything sucks right now.
The disaster
right?
of the game last night.
Yeah, just
like
all
five
of it.
innings in a row with the winning run on second, and he couldn't get him in. Blah,
Yep.
all
of it. All of it. Vibes were just so bad. And then today, you got Luis F. Castillo on the bump, and he wasn't good. And he only gave you 4 innings after you used pretty much your entire bullpen last night. And look, I mean, listen to the pitchers who took the bump for the Mariners in this game. So Luis F. Castillo, Edward Bizardo, okay, that's fine. Colin Snyder, okay, that's fine. Casey Lawrence, right? That's it. Not exactly a murderer's row of relievers, right? Or just pitchers in general, I mean. And on top of that, the bats look flat again. They're failing to drive in runners with position again. And
you're going up against Hunter Brown.
You're going up against Hunter Brown. Defender. Yeah. The Astros jump out to an early 5-0 lead. Mm-hmm. This one's over, right? I have 2 monitors upstairs for my computer. You know, usually I'll do something on one and watch the game on the other. And there's like my main monitor, and then there's my second monitor that's off to my side. Like when you guys are watching our episodes, usually if I'm looking to my left, I'm looking at the second monitor. Today was a second monitor game. I was doing something else on my computer very quick. After, I think, around the time that it was like 2-0, I switched it over to the second monitor. I was just doing other stuff. Keeping an eye on it, but doing other stuff in the meantime. And by other stuff, I mean playing video games.
Some of us watched the entire game.
That's right.
Absolute focus.
That's right. You were there, Colby. You saw everything just flip on a dime in the 8th inning. Tell us about your experience watching all of this unfold.
Yeah, it was terrible because for 20 innings in a row, I watched like the most mind-numbingly bad offense you could imagine. And, you know, obviously Luis F. Castillo, again, the F doesn't stand for fun. And he's like throwing as many strikes as he has balls. He's walking dudes like crazy. And even then, like the Astros are getting these kind of like cheap little hits here and there. And the Mariners are throwing the ball around. They're kicking the ball around.
Well, and Castillo's getting squeezed a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like I had better seats today to tell the strike zone.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's tough to tell when you're at the stadium. But, yeah, just like all of it was just like Dan. It was so bad Dan started chirping at the umpire. So, yeah, you're just sitting there like, I mean, a lot of people left. I think the announced attendance today was about 20,000.
Yep.
At the end of the game, there was probably, I would say, 8,000 people left. And who could blame them? Like,
yeah.
This game was over. It was dead. And you know, and the Mariners just haven't played with any kind of life. They just lost. I mean, like usually you get a pretty good sense of how the vibes are when you go to a baseball game. and the stadium was mostly dead today. It was pretty like sleepwalkish for most of the game, and obviously the Mariners got off to a slow start, and they can't get anything going off of Brown, and it really wasn't until the 8th inning when the bases were loaded that anybody was like, maybe, maybe.
I mean, even then though,
yeah,
Garver pops out, and then Cal strikes out, and you're like, oh, okay. There we go. There's like the 2025 Mariners.
It's like single, walk, bases loaded, nobody out, and you're like, But then obviously they bring in the lefty, and it's pretty clear, right? I think we all understand this. Like, they don't want Polanco hitting right-handed. Like, because
it's because of his side. Yeah. Dan said it's because of his side after the game.
There's no reason for him not to be. So that's cool. Another pure platoon in this Mariners lineup. It's not like we don't have 6 of them. They should probably address that, but what do I know?
Yeah.
But
maybe they should have in the offseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
There's still some opportunities to do it. In spring training too. So,
I mean,
but yeah,
JD Martinez still out there. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about all that on our next episode, which we were planning on talking about today instead of this game. But
you and I were texting each other, and we were like, maybe we should just make this like a normal episode of Locked On.
Just a late normal episode. But
by the way, real quick before you continue, I just want to let you guys know now until later on in the show, instead of until later on in the show when maybe some of you tune out. No show tomorrow. This was the plan always. So we'll be back on Friday, and we'll probably talk about some of that stuff and get you set for the Rangers series. But just wanted to let you guys know that now.
Yeah, so they load the bases, nobody out. They bring in a new reliever, and it just pop out, strike out, and you're just sitting there like, it's Randy. And
of course.
Randy, he's had his moments, certainly, but it's been a struggle for him the last couple of days. But, he had a double earlier in this game, so you're like, maybe. And here's how bad, like, people were down, relative to the Mariners. Ball leaves his bat, and I think about 85% of us are just like, pop out.
Yeah.
Like, no shot. Like, that's just how it goes. I think once that ball landed, everybody was like, this could be something here because,
I still wasn't sold. I was like, of course they would make it a 1-run game.
The only reason I was a little bit more sold, I was like, oh, so now they're not going to get blown out. So now it looks like we're overreacting and we're like, this team sucks. But the only reason I was like, maybe, is because I noticed Hader wasn't warming up.
I mean, he threw 2 innings last night after throwing 2 innings like 2 days before. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, maybe. And they got to Abreu in the last game. The Mariners kind of own Abreu apparently. So it's like, maybe if they could keep it a 1-run game, a bloop and a blast, sure, stranger things have happened. And then they butcher the leadoff double. They butcher the rundown or whatever. Like, they pick him off, and then they can't execute that play right, and then it's a pass ball, and you're just like,
Dan leaves Casey Lawrence in.
Like with Trent Thornton. Trent Thornton was hot. He was ready to go. Yeah. And they just sat him down and put Lawrence back.
That definitely felt like, all right, well, Donovan Solano, Miles Mastroboni, and who was the third guy that was due up? Leo Rivas. Yeah. Solano, that's who's due up in the 9th. We don't got this. I'm just going to, let's just let Casey go out there and throw the 9th.
Yeah. And so, like, it was just like, of course, like, they left Lawrence in. Oh, there's a leadoff double. Oh, they picked him off and they screwed up that play. Oh,
then the wild pitch.
Ball. Now it's 6-4. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. No, they're totally losing this game now. It was crazy. And it was wild just because, like, and then even you get to the 9th inning and good situation. Julio's up and you're like, oh, Julio really struggles in these spots. Abreu kind of owns Julio. He's like 1 for 8.
Swinging strike on the first pitch.
Yeah. 0-2 count, and you're just like, oh man, this is
seen this at bat a lot.
And you're just looking on deck, you're like, oh, and Mitch Garver is going to be the last at bat. Okay. And then Julio comes up and he doesn't try to do too much. Right.
Hey, let's not forget who started that rally in the ninth inning, baby.
Miles
Donnie
Oscar
Barrels. Donnie Barrels is back. Donnie Barrels has arrived, baby. He almost got out of third, but whatever. He was safe. He was safe, and that loaded the bases. Yeah.
Much like we're going to ignore the rough infield defense we saw today.
Yeah.
Which probably had nothing to do with Ryan Bliss's absence. So, yeah. But yeah, Julio does what he needs to do, and again, he doesn't try to do too much. We've seen Julio swing out of his shoes countless times in situations like that, and this time falls behind 0-2.
Yeah,
and he just gets to work, and it's one of those things that the Mariners have been preaching, like, before you get to 2 strikes, go hunt, and once you get there, now we have to change it up, we have to shorten up and all that, and they haven't really done it. I mean, we just watched a game last night where they struck out 19 times.
Yeah, amazing piece of hitting from Julio. Right. In an 0-2 count. Have you seen the replay of it?
I haven't seen the replay. I haven't heard the call.
Did you see the strike location or the pitch location at least?
I mean, from where I was sitting, no.
So it's
off the outside corner.
Yeah, fastball bottom outside corner, and he just flips it into right field. Just slaps it.
I mean,
it's awesome.
Slaps it at 98.7 miles an hour too. So
well, yeah, no, exactly, right. But like the ability to get to that pitch, do damage with it, do extra base damage with it, awesome to see out of Julio.
Yeah, I'll tell you the moment I thought, like, this game is so officially crazy that I feel like they might actually win this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Donovan Solano play at third base where JP hits a chopper.
That's when I started to believe too. Yeah,
that's when I'm like, okay, this is just enough crazy that either the Mariners are going to go strikeout here to end it, or they're going to win it. Like, I really, and so and after what happened last night, you kind of feel which way you're leaning, but it was awesome, and it really was cool for the, I don't know, 30% of the people who stuck around till the end. They get rewarded with what will probably be the biggest comeback victory of the season. It's going to be tough to top that one. And you go from the despair of like, oh my God, we're going to be 4-9. We just lost another series. We had the series won yesterday. We could have been playing with house money today, and we blew it and we choked it away.
Yeah.
To like, oh yeah, look at that. We just beat the Astros 2 out of 3.
By the way, the Astros suck. How do you lose this game? Like, they easily should have had 10 runs off of Castillo and did they get some traction against Pizarro? I don't know. Everything kind of ran together. Innings 1 through 7 ran together for me.
No, actually, Pizarro and Snyder were actually pretty good, at least from where I was sitting. Yeah, they went 2 innings. They only allowed 1 hit, or sorry, 1 walk between. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was Castillo, but they easily should have had. I tweeted. I was like, I'm stunned that they don't have 7 or more runs right now.
And I mean, Casey Lawrence, give him credit. He gave up 2 runs in 3 innings. One of those runs is the wild pitch and the botched pickoff. Like it's one of those things where, like, Lawrence shouldn't have been pitching the 9th, but he was, and he ran into some bad luck, and just kind of like Jesse Hahn, the Mariners have gotten production from, like, literally, like,
poor Jesse Hahn, by the way, gets DFA'd after. Honestly, he pitched his butt off last night. I thought,
So it's one of those things. It's just tough business, but. I was honestly thinking, like, okay, if we do this post-game show, how do I find any positives in this series? And I was like, well, I guess I could say, like, the bullpen's kind of starting to find their way. The bullpen was really good in this series.
Yes, they were.
And it was pretty good after that big blow-up game in San Francisco.
Sure.
So I was like, the bullpen's actually, and it looks like they're starting to find some roles, and they're starting to kind of establish what they're going to do, and all of that. And that was the spin. And then Randy hit the grand slam. And then, all the craziness in the top of the 9th. And it's like Donovan Solano single. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's Leo Rivas not getting a hit, but stinging the ball. And you're like, Rivas is squaring up.
Yeah.
Abreu. That's interesting. And then Mastroboni squares him up.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there like, okay, but you still double play. We're that's still definitely a possibility. And then JP hits the grounder, and you're like, oh, that's fair. And now he's caught in no man's land. Wait a minute.
Wait.
Hold up. Replay.
Hold up.
Safe.
Hold
bang,
up.
Bang play at second. Like, honestly, a little surprised that they overturned
Donnie
it.
Barrel sneaking his foot in there.
And then at that point, like,
Donnie footwork.
Julio with the great at bat. Give Mitch Garver some credit. He didn't get it done the last time, but he draws a big walk, keep the line moving.
Questionable call. Certainly questionable call.
It looked like it.
It should have been a strike. It should have been a strike. Yeah.
It definitely looked like it. And then give Randy Arozarena credit also for, again, the ball four wasn't close.
Yeah.
But we've seen the Mariners chase that pitch repeatedly.
Yeah.
In these situations. So obviously Randy's the hero of this one, but it does kind of feel like everybody played a role in that 8th and 9th inning. Everybody kind of did a little something to help win this game. So it was awesome. The Mariners really needed it. I think more than the Mariners needing it, though, this fan base desperately needed this.
Tell me about it.
This is the type of game that can kind of turn.
It's a vibe shifter for sure.
Right.
Hey, we'll talk about that more in just a moment. But first, a reminder: this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk or on a road trip or just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. Get snackin' and get crackin' with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners post-game show following the Mariners 7-6 win over the Houston Astros.
Didn't think you'd be saying that 2 hours ago, did you?
No, I did not. Frankly, didn't even think that I was going to be saying that when Julio was up to bat with bases loaded. But here we are.
Ty on second, and Ty's like, no shot. None.
You watched this game for the last 13 games or however many it's been.
I've watched Julio take that exact at-bat.
Oh yeah,
like a dozen times and always strike out.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he swung at the first pitch, missed it, fouled off a pitch in the strike zone. That was probably his shot. Yep. He missed it.
He's like 1 for 9 in his career against Abreu with like 6.
He's also like 1 for his last 22 going into that at bat.
Mm-hmm. Just looking bad too. Like not even like he's singing the ball. Just bad luck. Nope. Just looking bad.
I mean, his process yesterday was all right in a couple of his at-bats. He stung that one ball that Myers caught on the diving catch, in the first inning. But yeah, like overall, like Julio's 1 for 22. He's really struggled against Abreu. He's down 0-2. Ruh-roh. This is not going to end well. And then again, incredible piece of hitting from Julio. Exactly what you want to see out of him in that situation. So cannot give enough credit to Julio in that moment. That was amazing. That was absolutely what you want. I want to talk about Miles Mastrobuoni real quick though, if you don't mind.
I was thinking the same thing you were, man.
Yet another game where he comes up clutch. Like he has a big at bat or plate appearance in a massive situation and leads to something positive for the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
Is he becoming a thing? Is Miles Mastrobuoni like actually becoming a thing?
I wouldn't go that far. He had kind of a blunder at third base there. Actually, from my angle, I couldn't really tell like why they didn't get the guy at third. It kind of looked like he like handcuffed the throw or something. But yeah, I don't know. These type of players. Remember Leo Rivas had like the game last August or whatever. People were like, is he a thing now? And it's like, probably not.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been like 4 games now in a row.
Well, you know what? Sadly, we're probably going to get to find out.
Yeah.
See, Miles Mastrobuoni's game today is what's going to prevent Jerry DiPoto from going out and trading for Brandon Lau. It's just like, I mean, look what he did.
I tweeted this earlier today. I'll say it here on the show. We've said this every year about this ball club, in April and May. And it's admittedly lazy analysis, but I think this is actually a very appropriate thing to say about this team in particular with all the injuries that it suffered, with how bad the offseason was. This team could really use its own version of the Denard Span Alex Colomé trade. really, really good. Like, I really hope they can find something like that in the next few weeks.
And that might be something we can talk about on
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Because Friday's going to be about how do they fix this? Because in the span
Yeah,
of
because look, today's win and the hype aside,
Mhm.
this team has legitimate problems.
Right. I mean, they just lost their two most athletic players. I mean, aside from Julio, and they're probably their two best base stealers, and they left a lot of defense on the table now. And it's like, oh, cool. So what's the backup to the backup plan? Remember, Brian Bliss was the backup plan to Dylan Moore to start the season.
Yeah.
And now you need a backup plan for Bliss. And you probably need a backup plan for Dylan Moore, who, again, did not have a great game today and really struggled defensively over the last week. So it's been rough. But, again, we'll talk about that on Friday. That's
I think
Friday.
we need to get Demo a new glove, by the way. Can someone look into that?
Yeah. I mean, even the play he made yesterday, like he dropped the ball and had to have it bounce right back up to him. Like,
yeah. By the way, this team is the funniest team in baseball. They are the content kings outside of, like adding good players in the offseason, but I digress.
Sure. Not the way that our content would be most benefited, but sure.
But they do give us a lot to talk about, even in the losses, even the most frustrating games.
They do. But yeah, anyways, to go all the way back, Miles Mastrobuoni, cool. You need games like this sometimes from guys you least expect. And like I said, Miles is probably going to be playing on Friday and Saturday. Like I really doubt we, especially since Polo, it seems like they don't want to play him in the field. And also he can't even swing the bat right-handed right now. So Miles is going to get a shot here. And we'll see how much they want to use Rivas, but the Mariners infield right now is not good. It was the big question coming in, and now there's been more injuries to make it even more questionable. Yeah. So, on day one without Ryan Bliss, who was just starting to get the hits, like he's looked pretty good at the plate. And then just over the last week or last 3 or 4 days, he finally started to get the hits and they were landing. And you're like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. By the way, the fact that guy tore his bicep in his first at bat, and then hit a double, and then made that insane reaction play at second that saved a run in what, the 10th or 11th inning last night. That's nuts. That's wild. Brian Bliss is a dog for that.
Yeah. But also, like, what are the Mariners doing? You let this guy play through a torn bicep for 10 innings yesterday, and he just never came out of the game. Like, really? You never? Okay,
I guess it wasn't as much of a problem for him in the moment. I don't know. Adrenaline? I don't know.
Still, I mean, like, I'm not a doctor, but like,
you just play one on TV.
Yeah. Really, guys? Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was an awesome game today, obviously. And again, the Mariners, it was kind of like, finally, you know what I mean? Because like the Mariners did today what they've done for most of this. Last night is a huge outlier. They struck out 19 times, but today strikeouts were not a problem and they walked a ton. And that really has been what the Mariners have done over the first, what are we at now? 13 games. That really, the strikeout rate is totally normal. Again, you have to get rid of last night, take that out of your head. 19 strikeouts is bad, but the strikeout rate is right at league average. The walk rate, they're tied for the most walks in the American League. And today they had 6 strikeouts and 6 walks. Like, that's a ratio that will play.
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to get the hits to make those walks count. Today they got the hits. And, interestingly enough, the hits were for extra bases, which is also important. Like, we talk a lot about batting average runners in scoring position, rightfully so. They're terrible. Slugging with runners in scoring position also matters because that's how you score multiple runs instead of just one here, one there. So, it was great to see, double with the bases loaded, obviously the home run with the bases loaded, and then they went on a walk. Like, that's kind of what the Mariners are built to do. They want to get on base a lot, and they want to get those big hits, and they'll occasionally pop the homer. They have plenty of power. We'll see how they want to change their game a little bit now that they're losing a lot of their speed element with Robles and Bliss. I mean,
they got speed demon Mitch Garver on the club. They're fine.
The fact that the Mariners, I know we keep going back to last night, but there were some funny things. Like, Or well, I guess one of these.
That game was awesome. Aside from the fact that they literally
if you didn't watch the Mariners swing the bat once, that was an awesome game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately I had to watch how it ended. So
yeah. Same.
But yeah, like
I had to stay up until like 1:30 or something to watch that. Yeah.
I'm in Seattle, guys, so sorry about that.
We can barely hear it.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, like
They're
Luke
coming
Raley,
to arrest Colby finally for his bad takes. It's about time.
Okay. Luke Raley stealing bags. Jorge Polanco had a stolen base in this series. Garver last night, you're just like, and Garver scores on an infield single, technically, and it's just like, wow, this it's. I like how aggressive the Mariners are on the bases. I'd much rather they do that and make outs on the bases than bunt.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you know what? They didn't bunt today, and guess what? Guess how many runs they scored? Let's see. Oh, 7. Wow.
Of course, you would bring it back to bunting.
Wow. How about that? Can you score runs without bunting? Dan Wilson doesn't think so. But here we are. Huh.
Here we are.
Anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's you look at the final box score. Hilarious. The Mariners had 7 hits. I'm pretty sure 5 of them came in the last 8 batters of the game.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It was a drag to be there all day. Aside from, you're at a Major League Baseball game, so how bad could it really be? And
what was the weather like today? I know it was sunny, but what was the temp?
It was probably about 58 to 62, somewhere in that range, and
not bad.
Not a lot.
Really not bad for April 9th. Not bad.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. Yeah. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain a ton, and nice. Friday it's supposed to rain a lot too. So, but we'll see. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't fun at all until it was.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what baseball is, right? It's not fun.
It's definitely what Mariners baseball is.
If you watched any Mariners baseball over the last 5 years or so, that's Mariner baseball to a T. It was terrible until it wasn't.
That should be their new slogan, like on the commercials.
Forget Trident's up.
Yeah, Mariners baseball.
It's terrible.
It sucks until it doesn't.
Hire us, Kevin Martinez.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap up with our final thoughts on the game in just a moment. But first, a reminder, this episode of the Locked On Mariners podcast is brought to you once again by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners postgame show following the Mariners 7-6 win over the Houston Astros to win their first series of the year. Go to 5-8 on the season. Get an off day tomorrow before the Texas Rangers come to town. 3-game set starting on Friday. Again, we'll get you set for that one on Friday's episode, and we'll talk about where this roster stands as well on Friday. Again, no show tomorrow, so we'll see you again on Friday. We are dropping an episode over on our Patreon, though, tomorrow, so be sure to check that out if you're subscribed, or if you're not subscribed, patreon.com/control the zone. Mm-hmm. All right, so you talked a little bit about this earlier. This is a vibe shifting win, potentially. I mean, again, vibes were just so bad going into this game, so bad, and even during this game, I mean, through the first 7 innings, the vibes were terrible. Looked like you were very much going to be 4-9 heading into the off day, possibly coming off of a shutout loss. That's really where things look to be heading. But instead, you win in dramatic fashion, which, again, as I said the other day, for the Mariners is normal fashion. Yeah, it just, I don't know. It feels like this is They needed this. They really did need this. As far as like games on April 9th go, like it felt like you had to have this one and the way that it went.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like the fan base really needed it more than the players. The players understand
You and
the
I
ebbs
needed
and-
it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not hovering above the fans, mightier than them, although sometimes you're all crazy. But I wouldn't know what that's like. I always keep a level head.
Stop.
So
You crazy.
yeah. So yeah, definitely needed it though. And again, you were staring like your fourth. Well, technically they didn't lose the Oakland series, but 4 or 5 series into the season, you haven't won one yet, and you're defeated because George Kirby's not walking through that door in the next month. Like you just lost Ryan Bliss for. I don't know. They didn't put a timetable on it, but in the NFL, that's a season-ending injury. So, like, I don't know if it is in baseball or not, but yeah. And you lost Robles for at least 3 months, like at least. And Robles is kind of the vibes guy. Like that's a big part of his role. And so you're just looking at this, you're like, man, we just got less athletic. Our defense took a hit. 2 guys who were actually starting to swing the bat and finding results. Now they're out for potentially the year.
Well,
Julio's
and also
struggling.
for a team that has really struggled to hit, you lost your hits leader in Victor Robles. Like they showed the stat today during the game. It was like leader in hits, Victor Robles, 12. Victor Robles, who hasn't played in like 3 games.
Right. So yeah, you desperately needed this one. And more than anything, you need to show some fight there at the end because this is a team that, you look at it, now obviously we probably wouldn't be thinking this way if they had lost today, but like they should have won yesterday. They should have won they probably should have won 2 of 3 in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And it's just those little things. And it's a lot of the times those 1-run games that you don't win, those come back to bite you. And as we know, the Mariners, 1 game means a lot, unfortunately. And you're just kind of looking at it, you go, man, we're 4-9. We don't have Bliss. We don't have Robles. We don't have Kirby yet. We're hoping to get Taylor and Brash back at some point. The bullpen's been pretty mediocre. We just wasted another good Luis Castillo start. Cal Raleigh's not really hitting much right now. Randy's really struggling. Julio's really struggling. Like the vibes are just down. And then 2 innings later, bring on Texas. Let's win another series against Texas and get right back in this race. And Miles Mastrobuoni, maybe he can handle second base until Cole Young is ready and all that. So perspective really does shift quite a bit with this win here. And I think more than anything, it's like this could be a vibes, changing or like just get the ball rolling in the right direction type of win. Like I don't want to say season changing because again, it's April 9th.
Yeah, no.
But like this could do that. But also, you still have to play well on Friday because if you lose Friday and you lay another egg on Friday, you're just right back to where you were.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like you have to continue to play well, but hopefully you gain some confidence in this one. Hopefully you get the fan base a little more energized because I'm telling you, at the ballpark today, it was dead. It was absolutely dead from the minute I walked into the park until the ball left Randy's bat, and even not really until the ball landed did the stadium actually feel like it had some life in it. So you needed it. You got it. It wasn't fluky. Randy was spectacular today. He had a double and a homer, and he walked. He was amazing. He had 5 RBI in this one, obviously, and you got some production from Mastrobuoni. Obviously, was a big help in this one. Solano, obviously, a big help in this one.
Mastrobuoni had 3 hard hit balls in this game.
Yeah,
he led the team in hard hit balls.
He did. He also probably leads the team in batting average, right? Well, Polanco still technically.
He was really stroking that thing today.
Yeah. And again, they weren't amazing, but let's give some credit to Bizzardo and Snyder and Casey Lawrence. The Mariners needed those guys. They knew that Castillo was only going to be able to go 4 or 5. The Mariners found a way to avoid like the huge disastrous inning somehow, some way. They found a way. And the pitching staff gave the offense a chance to work. Typically, you give up 6 runs, you're not going to win this one. But hey, you know what? The offense finally won a game that the pitching staff did not help them in. After losing those first 2, one against Detroit, one in San Francisco, the offense finally gets the win that they earned.
What is it about this spot in the rotation that makes the offense finally click?
It's like, can we not do this when Logan Gilbert's on the mound, guys?
Oh, our pitcher gave up 6. Oh, I guess now we have to hit the ball.
I guess we have to score now. Like, good thing we saved all these runs from the last 3 games. Am I right? Otherwise, that could be bad.
They kind of are that team. You know, there's the people that are like, you know, make sure you save your runs for the rest of the games.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of are that team, though. Like, yeah, we're going to put all of our runs into one game. And that's it.
Yeah, you know what's pretty interesting about the Mariners right now is that the offense has looked pretty, like, competent for, like, a week.
Yeah.
It's just that the time they're not, they look like the worst offense you've ever seen.
So bad. Yeah, last night, oh my God.
Yeah. You're like, this is the worst thing I've ever watched. Like, I've seen better at-bats put up in a perfect game, okay, than what I saw there. And in this game, like, for 7 innings, you're right there. And you're like,
yeah,
cool, they're walking. Who cares? Like, walks are great, but if you can't – the problem with walks is that you can only move up 1 base at a time. And if you're not going to get the hits to back those up, whatever. Yeah. Like, who cares? So, but yeah, they're not – again, there's like 2 outlier games. There's the one in San Francisco. There's this one – or, well, I'm sorry, last night's game. And since that first series, other than that, the offense has been good. Like, not great, not spectacular. They've had moments where they've been great, but they've been okay. And it's one of those things where it's like, man, if we could just get this to line up a little bit, you know, where – because the Mariners very easily could be – you know, they could have won 2 or 3 in San Francisco. They should have won yesterday. Like, if they win 2 of those 3 games I just talked about, the vibe's completely different. And you're playing for first place against the Rangers this weekend. Like,
woo.
Yeah, on April 11th. So,
well, as we all know, getting first place early on in the season, especially if you're the Seattle Mariners,
if
great
you can just get up like 10 games,
yeah,
by June,
yeah, you're probably safe.
Set.
Yeah,
you're set. So. Yeah, it's just really a vibe, you know, a vibes altering game. Again, I think the fan base needed it more than the players, but don't think that the players didn't need this and enjoy this too. Like they certainly did.
They really needed it.
There's a lot of pressure right now.
They really needed it. Yeah.
It just kind of feels like everything's going against them.
Well, and they notice the energy in the ballpark or lack thereof. Like, I'm sure that's not great as players.
Yeah. I mean, like, we're teetering on the season being like people legitimately asking, like, is this too big of a hole to dig out of? Is this team just cursed for this year? Like, it's just one of those years where everybody's going to get hurt. And because, again, like, you talk about it, but you've already lost George Kirby. Now you hopefully get him back in the next month or so. Bliss, Robles, like, those are 3 important players for you. And that's
well, and even with the Robles news that he might be back in 12 weeks. It could wind up that he requires surgery, and then there you go, done for the year.
Best case scenario is 3 months. Best case.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're just sitting there like, okay, well, if they're not even competitive at the deadline, are they even going to add guys? And like, can they even add guys right now? Like,
and does this mean people are getting fired and all this stuff, right? Like,
do we have
is
to
that the kind of year that we're?
Yeah. What is this year going to be about?
Yeah.
And again, had they lost, you know, I'm sure there were some.
I mean, we still might have those conversations.
Right. We still might, but like, push them
Yeah.
off a little bit, and it's just sometimes you just need to feel good about your ball club.
Yeah.
And even if it's only for a couple of innings, like it is, it's nice. I think it's a statement to the fans as well that like we're not giving up, we're not rolling over. We could have easily just packed it in this one, and even though you know. Dan Wilson kind of tried.
No, he did. Bringing Casey Lawrence back out for the 9th was clearly like, I see who's coming up in the 9th inning. I have zero faith in their ability to do anything.
And with a day off tomorrow, and with Thornton, you know, not pitching the day before, and he was hot, he was ready. And they're like, nah, we don't have to leave. Put quick Casey Lawrence back out there.
Yeah.
Who's, by the way, probably getting DFA'd tomorrow or Friday.
Probably, unfortunately.
So,
by the way, why do they hate Casey Legumita? We heard so much about this guy in the spring, and How
just don't know
many
what they're
how many
waiting for.
relievers have they sifted through now? Like 4 or 5?
Han, Castillo. Although I guess technically Castillo's a starter.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's more like
He's
2 or
not.
3. But still, like, for as much as we heard about Casey Legumina, and he's one of the few guys that's actually on the 40-man roster, we still haven't seen the dude. And it's not like, you know, you call him up and then you have to DFA him after. No, he's on the 40-man roster. He has an option.
Yeah, you sent him up and down 5 times this year.
Yeah, it's
So I
just
don't-
weird.
and it's not like he's pitching poorly in Tacoma. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Like maybe it's just because they needed some like length
yeah.
out of the bullpen when they made those calls. Maybe that's it.
Another thing that we need to talk about on Friday, though, I don't think you can start Luis F. Castillo again. You really can't. Like,
No.
you're setting yourself up for like. This is now the second start that he's had. It looked pretty much the same as it did in San Francisco.
Mhm.
You're setting yourself up for games like this that, you know, and most times you're not going to win them. You're not going to be able to mount a comeback like this.
No.
So I don't know. That kind of leaves you with Logan Evans or Soren Lau.
I mean, like, or you could just skip the spot in the rotation. I don't even know if that's an option now. But you didn't need him to make these 2 starts. You didn't. And for a team that talks about, you know what, we're heading down this alley.
Yeah.
We'll save it for Friday.
Yeah, we'll save it for Friday.
Yeah,
we'll talk about all the roster stuff that needs to be talked about, and then
Sure.
again we'll get you guys
Probably
set for
talk
the
about JD Martinez, I guess.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
yeah, and then we'll get you guys set for the Rangers series and all
Why
that.
Rowdy Tellez doesn't need to be on this roster.
Last night though, I was at the point where I was like, you know what, I would rather see Rowdy Tellez in this situation because Dom Canzo was due up.
Yeah, Dom's gotten 3 at-bats since he's been called up, and I just wonder why he's the guy they called up because they clearly need another right-handed hitter on this bench, especially if they're going to lean heavy in the platoons. Like
The
go get some
problem, like
Taylor.
the problem, like I wrote about last night though, yeah, in terms of like right-handed hitting outfielders, they don't really have them.
No,
I mean, they could convert Harry Ford to the outfield, but that's going to take some time.
yeah, that's not an instant fix.
He's
So,
also not playing every day right now in Tacoma for some reason.
yeah. Hey, you got to get Blake Hunt his at-bats.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then it's Samad, but Samad had an 88 WRC plus in Tacoma last year.
But at least he runs. Like,
Yeah, and this team needs athleticism. This team needs with the loss of Robles and the loss of Bliss, like you mentioned earlier, like they do need some more athleticism, a
Look.
bigger threat on the base pass.
selfishly, I'm here for the next couple days.
Yeah.
So if they want to call up Cole Young or Ben Williamson and have them make their debut this weekend,
Sure.
like, fine. Is that
Sure.
the smartest thing to do? Tune in Friday to find out.
Yeah, that's going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners podcast, post-game show rather, following the Mariners 7-6 win over the Astros in walk-off fashion. Insane game. But you know, that's par for the course with the Seattle Mariners. For Colby Patnode, I'm Titan Gonzalez. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Titan Gonzalez and Colby at CPAT11. That's CPAT11. We're also on Blue Sky. You can follow me at TDG, Colby at MLB Colby, and the show at Locked On Mariners. Have yourself a beautiful baseball day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.